If Elizabeth Warren runs against Hillary, I think she could defeat her for the Democratic nomination. Ed Klein, the author of the book Blood Feud between the Obamas and the Clintons, a magnificent read, quotes an Obama administration source saying that Michelle, Barack, and Valerie, those are the phrases the source uses, are all convinced that Hillary might undo Obama's agenda and are actively pursuing Elizabeth Warren to run, promising to raise a lot of money for her and give her a lot of organizational support. That leak has all the hallmarks of a deliberately orchestrated leak by Obama in order to send a shot across Hillary's bow and to send a signal to Elizabeth Warren that they're for real. Warren would represent a serious threat to Hillary's candidacy, and I think there would be a very good chance that Warren could beat Hillary. Because particularly in this book tour, the issue of their acquisition of corporate wealth has stood out in stark relief in a way it never has in looking at the Clintons. You knew that he made a lot of money in speeches, you knew that they made a lot on their books, but nobody realized the extent of this money-making, that they personally made $150 million since leaving the White House, most of it from major corporations like Goldman Sachs, and that altogether they've raised over $2 billion for all of their various political committees and interests and foundation, library. That all is new. And it comes at a time when the left and the right is rebelling against the top 1% in making vast amounts of income from the Fed printing money and literally handing it over to the country's top banks, which are just keeping the money and using it to invest in very risky bets and derivatives and in the stock market that probably will come crashing down, and then look to the government to bail them out. I think that both the left and the right are pretty sick of this, and Elizabeth Warren personifies the opposition to that. So she puts into play a whole new political issue against Hillary that I think can be very potent and very important, the same kind of issue that brought Mitt Romney down in the general election. So I think that the threat of Warren entering could be very significant and could pose really a lethal threat to Hillary. In a certain sense, history is repeating itself. In 2004 to 2008, Hillary was a shoo-in for the Democratic nomination. But then her support of the Iraq War loomed larger and larger as the war became more and more costly and more reminiscent of Vietnam. And that drove her negatives up and enticed a leftist, Obama, to come into the race and challenge her from the left. I think that this is doing the same thing. I think that Hillary's income and money-making has made Elizabeth Warren uniquely attractive. And as a woman, she takes away the number one argument for Hillary, which is that she's a woman. Thanks for watching.